Chelsea are back in action tomorrow against Legia Warsaw. Conference League football is back. Chelsea are back where they belong after a abysmal performance against Ipswich. 2-2 over the weekend just gone. But Chelsea are back. Welcome back to From the Shed End. This is another match preview. If you're new here, please make sure you subscribe. We are on the road to 800 subscribers. I think we're about 45 subscribers away from that. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And also, make sure you go over to our Instagram, Twitter page, even go over to Theo's Twitter page as well. You'll see Theo's become a global sensation in Brazil. Whilst he's been over there, hence why the podcast hasn't been recorded. But Theo's been over in Brazil. He ran a marathon. He went to a match in Fluminense and suddenly he became a Brazilian global sensation. So if you don't know what I'm talking about and you haven't gone over and checked out our Instagram already, make sure you head over there. I'm sure when Theo is back in the UK, we've got the podcast back up and running. I'm sure he's going to tell us all about his time away in Brazil. But Legia Warsaw with 3-0 up from the first leg. This should be bread and butter. This should be an easy game. But I can guarantee at least 80% of us watching the Ipswich game ahead of the kickoff, 2 p.m. on Sunday, just gone, would have said Ipswich was an easy game. There is no such thing at Chelsea Football Club currently as an easy game. And I know we're 3-0 up. And I know that the gap is there for us to be able to go out and pick away Legia Warsaw. But as I said in that first leg, this is a team that's done very well so far in the Conference League competition. They're doing okay in their domestic cup. And I'll be honest, I don't watch much Polish football. So I don't know how am I basing that and benchmarking that and baselining that. I'm just going by what I've read about this team. So I'm not saying that they're punching above their weight in terms of the Conference League, but they can give us hassle. We know that. We got to see it in the first half in Poland. Now, of course, it's going to be a completely different game because we are 3-0 ahead. As I said, we're 1 foot into the semi-final. We've also got the home advantage. Now, Maresca's come out in recent times and said that the crowd, the fans haven't been great. And I think he said it again after the Sunday game that the atmosphere killed the game for us on Sunday. But some of these players have to step up. I don't want to hear all that talk about, this is the fans' fault and all the rest of it. But one of the things that we need to do, and this is more so the players, not even the fans, but we have to make our chances count in that game tomorrow night. One of the things that we didn't do in that first half, you remember we had 70% possession of the ball in the first half and we didn't make it count for nothing. We did not make it count for nothing. It was only until some of those substitutions came on that Maresca done that we actually got to see a better squad, a better team come out and perform well. And if we're having 70% possession of the ball and we were unable to create any good chances, I think Keenan Dewsbury Hall had a very good chance in that game in the first half. We can't allow that to happen. Now, you would expect Legia Warsaw to either go one or two ways. I actually think they'll go very defensive, but they could go out on the attack. They could go out knowing that they need to get 3 goals on the night to take it into extra time. Personally, for me, I think they'll sit back. They'll try and sit back for maybe the first half and make things very difficult for us going forward. Like they did in Poland. They'll make it very, very difficult. Now, of course, as I said, the tweaks, Tariq George, got his first goal last week for us as a senior, especially how we've been raving about him in the squad so far this season. I want to see more of him tomorrow night because I think him, Achiempong, of course, Ratsaki's played in the Conference League before as well. Amagu, I think, might get a run out tomorrow. Some of these players, unfortunately, are going to have to come in and they're going to have to clean up the mess of some of the senior players. And I have to call them senior, more experienced players that have played in the Premier League. They're going to have to come in and clean up their mess. And I feel that's the wrong thing to do because I don't think it's fair that, we played the likes of Raksaki, we played Tariq George, and we play Amagu. We're playing these players, and then as soon as if we make it to the final, none of them are going to be in the starting lineup. And they're the ones that are getting us there theoretically from even, Astana, those sort of matches. Those players have got us to this point where we are currently at the moment. And Maresca, for me, if I was Maresca, and I'm pretty sure Arsene Wenger did this a couple of seasons ago when he was at Arsenal, I'd play some of these players in the final. Because they're the ones who got us there. Not the Nicholas Jacksons, not the Cole Palmers. They didn't get us there. We're not here because of those players. Some of these younger players, and I'm talking about the youngsters, the Tariq Georges, they put in a shift when they put on that blue shirt. The same can't be said about some of the players that have been in this team for a while now, and they're not pulling out 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 performances. That's the worry for me going into this game tomorrow. We have to guard against complacency. Yes, we're 3-0 up. But if you watch that game yesterday with PSG and Aston Villa, that could have gone either way. That could have been Aston Villa's moment to progress into the semi-final. We can't afford to let that first goal go in. A silly mistake at the back, a defensive mistake will cost us in this game tomorrow. We can't afford to go 2-0 down on the night. Because you know what happens? The pressure creeps in. The doubt creeps into the fans. The fans suddenly stop chanting. Manager starts panicking. The manager might bring on a player that we don't even need into the team. We can't afford for that to happen tomorrow. Now, I don't think it will. I think there'll be a positive response. It has to be a positive response from what we got to see on Sunday. Whoever goes out there and plays. There has to be a positive response from this team. Not as you know, Noni Madueke, again, another player that came on last week, changed the game for us, made it a bit more challenging for the defenders of Legia Warsaw. We have to hope that whatever team Maresca puts out tomorrow night, first of all, it's the right team to start the game. And tactically, throughout the game, he gets those substitutions right. Because part of me now is thinking, and I said this on Sunday after the game, I think we need to forget about the Champions League now. I think we need to forget about the Champions League and focus our attention back to the Conference League and theoretically getting into Europa League now. I said on Sunday, will I trust this team in the Champions League? My position hasn't changed on that. I still think this team would struggle in the Champions League, even with a goalkeeper that we could go and sign in the summer. Even with a striker in the summer, I still think this team would struggle in the Champions League. I don't think we're even good enough to be in the Champions League. I think we need to just cut our losses with that now. And even if we do make it as a fifth team in the Premier League, then so be it. But I think we need to start being very realistic where we are as a football club. And we're nowhere near the likes of PSG, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid. We are nowhere near those football clubs at the moment. We're just not near them. And going into a Champions League next season where they're all going to be strengthening, Man City will strengthen their team, Liverpool will strengthen their team. We're not even in that conversation right now to be talking about going into Champions League next season. I think we need to be realistic. I think it's a shame because we spent a lot of money. And the team that I'm going to show you in a minute does not show you a team that spent 1.6 billion. It just doesn't. But if we're being realistic, we are nowhere near the Champions League. We are more so suited to the Europa League next season. And I think obviously if we win the Conference League, then that is a competition that we'll be playing in next season, unless we make it into the top 5 in the Premier League. But that is a massive ask now. When you look at Man City, who look like they're going to go on a very decent run. Newcastle still have a game in hand, which I think they played tonight against Crystal Palace. Nottingham Forest is still there or thereabouts. Arsenal picking up the second place potentially. Liverpool winning the Premier League. So I don't think we can. And if you look at the fixtures we have as well, our fixtures are crazy. Our fixtures are absolutely mental. We have Fulham, then we have Everton, Liverpool, United, Newcastle, Forest. It's mental. The run into our season is absolute mental. The fact that, and this is why when we talk about dropping points to Ipswich, dropping points to this team, dropping points to Brentford, these are the sort of things that I'm talking about. When you look back on it now, and we get to the end of the season, we're going to say we should have done better in these aspects of this part of our season in the Premier League, but we haven't. I think the Europa League conference is our level right now. And I think this is where we need to divert the attention. Forget the Champions League qualification and trying to get into the top 5. If we get there, we get there. But if we don't, we don't. I think we need to focus on the Conference League and we need to focus on bolstering the squad for the Europa League next season. I think that's the reality. Now, financially, that doesn't help us at all. We know financially the constraints that has when you're not in that Champions League and the amount we've spent, the loss that we've made so far under this ownership, that's a massive concern. It's a massive concern. But we have to be honest, we are nowhere near them. We are nowhere near them. Now, some positives, some stats here for you guys. Chelsea's perfect run will continue if we can win this game tomorrow. We've currently won 9 of our Conference League matches. That's including in the qualifiers as well. We've scored the most goals. We've conceded the joint fewest in the group because Sanchez essentially hasn't been playing. And yeah, we need to continue with that. Now, Legia Warsaw do have one stat they probably don't want to hold to their team. They've never won in England and have lost the last 2 visits, conceding 3 goals in each Conference League away defeat as well. So they're not on a good run as well. The Blues have won 11 of their last 14 UEFA competition 2-legged ties. Their last goalless draw was in 2020 against Sevilla. So expect goals at Stamford Bridge. Let's hope so for us. Some news on team news. So Maresca's come out here and said that Cole Palmer, Reece James will be managed carefully after playing 45 minutes and 60 minutes in the first leg. Both could start on the bench to keep them fresh. Tariq George and Noni Maresca are pushing for starts after their heroics in Warsaw, while Jadon Sancho's 2 assists makes him a likely starter. Christopher Nkunku, despite his penalty miss, is expected to lead the line with Maresca backing him to regain form. Regain form? He hasn't even discovered it. He can't regain what he's never discovered. In goal, we expect Philippe Jurgensen should continue with youngsters like Josh Achiempong potentially featuring as well. No major injuries have been reported, but Maresca may rest Levi Colwill, who wore the armband in the first leg. I'll be honest. I think Maresca has a big challenge on his hands because I think if he doesn't win this Conference League, which could happen, and he doesn't get top 4, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know in the comment section, please, does Enzo Maresca keep his job after this? If we don't win the Conference League, in fact, no, let's scrap that. We do win the Conference League, but we still miss out on Champions League football. Does he keep his job? Have you seen enough from Maresca this season that you didn't see in Pochettino last season to warrant Maresca keeping his job for another season? That's what I want to know in the comment section. Because I'm not sure myself I don't even think I want to see him next season. If this is what we're seeing from a bunch of players that's got this quality, one of the best scorers in the Bundesliga previous times. Cole Palmer was up here. Now he's down mediocre level. I'm not sure. I want to know what you think in the comment section. Let me go through my predicted lineup with you before we wrap up, and I leave you good people to enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. But Josh Achiempong for me is going to be the right back. I've got Philip Jurgensen in goal, as you can see. I've gone for Tosin Adebayo with Levi Colwill as the centre-backs. Now, I wouldn't drop Levi Colwill. I think we need to keep him in that team. I know that he was potentially at fault for one of the goals against Ipswich at the weekend, but I do think I like the consistency between, we've seen obviously Colwill and Chalobah. I think Chalobah will be rested for this one, but Tosin as well, very calm. Definitely one of the leaders at the back for us as well. Malo Gusto on the left side of the defence as well. Now, I have gone for Matisse Amagu in midfield with Enzo Fernandez. There's a reason for that. Now, I think Amagu needs opportunity this season. I know that Maresca, when we signed him, said that he wasn't going to be playing and featuring much. But this is a game where you'd think 3-0 up, Stamford Bridge, give the fans an opportunity to see what it's like for him to play at Stamford Bridge as well, and let Amagu have some time, some minutes as well. That leaves someone like Caicedo on the bench. It leaves Raksaki that could come into that team as well. But I think we need to rest Caicedo, more so because he's played a lot of football this season. He's been one of our best players, Caicedo. And also Romeo Lavia is back in training. Now he potentially will be on the bench for the game tomorrow night. I wouldn't want to see him play. I wouldn't want to see him. I don't think we're going to see much of Lavia for the remainder of this season, but to see him back in training is a positive step for him. Let's hope he can keep him fit. Enzo, I think, is a question that you don't even need me to answer. He has to be in the team. There has to be some balance in that midfield. I've gone for Tariq George, who I thought was brilliant. Obviously got his goal last week. Now I've gone for Keenan Dewsbury Hall as the 10 because I feel like that's more so where he played last Thursday. And I think he was probably one of our better players, possibly the man of the match for us last week. But again, we've got options there. We have Paul Palmer, we have Christopher Nkunku that can come on and change things should it not be working for us. I've gone for Pedro Neto on the right now. That again is more so because I don't think you want to throw all the players that have come back from injury into this game. It is a game where you can rotate and rest certain players. And I think Noni Madueke, for me, potentially would be more important against Fulham at the weekend. Pedro Neto, again, another one that is very creative going forward. Jadon Sancho, for me, I just don't see enough I don't see enough from Jadon Sancho to make me think he needs to be in this team. I don't see enough from him. I'll be honest, I don't see enough. Maybe I'm being harsh there, maybe I'm not. But I want to see Neto on the right-hand side. Now, I've gone for Nicholas Jackson for the simple fact that he's coming back from a really long-term injury. And I think he needs to build his match fitness back up for the rest of this season. I think if we are going to try and get into that Champions League next season, Nicholas Jackson's going to be key for that. He doesn't have to play 90 minutes tomorrow. He could play 60. He could play 45 if things are working well for us. I think he needs to build up the match fitness. And I think I'd rather us go into that first half, into the dressing room with a 2-0, 3-0 lead, rather than us chasing the game and it's 2-0 to Legia Warsaw, and then we're having to bring on Nicholas Jackson, and they might get a third goal. I don't want us to be in that situation, so I want us to be comfortably satisfied that the tie is dead before we start bringing off players, the likes of Enzo, maybe Neto. Nicholas Jackson can come off. You can bring on Cole Palmer, give him some minutes. Sancho can get some minutes. Madueke can get some minutes. Caicedo can get some minutes. Raksaki potentially as well. So I think we need to dead the tie completely before we start thinking about swapping and changing the squad to its entirety. I don't think we can do that from the very start. So that's the lineup that I've gone with. Now, I do think Maresca will throw a ball in there. I think we might see Reece James in midfield. I hope we don't, but I wouldn't be surprised because it's Maresca. We don't know what we're going to get from him. But I do think we have to win this game comfortably. I think we have to put out a statement of intent from the players to the fans, especially the ones that are going to Stamford Bridge, because the performances have been so up and down since Christmas that you just don't know what you're going to get from Chelsea. And I think if we go out of this tournament, I would probably say there's a massive question mark. There'll be a lot of unrest at Stamford Bridge and amongst the fan base globally as well. But I feel like Maresca cannot afford to get what is probably the easiest objective out the way completed. He cannot not lose. He cannot win this. He has to win the Conference League. No ifs or buts. I wouldn't be surprised to not see him at the Club World Cup if we don't. I would generally, I think we could sack him before the Club World Cup. If he doesn't win the Conference League and get us into top four, I think he goes before the Club World Cup. It would be the Chelsea thing to go into it with no manager. That's how bad we are, badly ran. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think, your thoughts as well. Don't forget, as I said at the very start of this video, make sure you subscribe. Head over to our Instagram page where you can see Theo doing all the things in Brazil as well, whilst he's been over there for his marathon. And let me know your predictions. Before we go, my prediction will be 4-0 Chelsea. I think we will smash Legia Warsaw. I think we have to smash Legia Warsaw to prove the point to the fans that we are actually not as bad as the fans think we are and how much stick and shit we give to them. But let me know what you think in the comments and we'll be back soon with another video.